This week's Genius recipe is a super comforting vegetarian main, and kids go crazy for it. But what really caught my eye was the garnish. Garnish! So I was in an Airbnb of a person who clearly did not like to cook very much. Most of the stuff in their kitchen was like disposable party supplies, but the one book that they had in their kitchen was this one. So I feel like that was a good sign that this is a very cookable book for anyone. Flipping through the pages here, the thing that caught my eye was the title, which included the phrase blackened raisins. And it was the first time that I had ever seen raisins celebrated in the title of a recipe, for one thing, and also the first time that they sounded so good. Okay, we will get to that garnish later, but for now I'm just gonna tell you this dish came from Meera Sodha's beautiful cookbook, Fresh India. And the first thing we have to do is break down some cauliflower. It's very similar to how I like to break down broccoli, if you've seen that video before. Basically, I'm just trying to clear away all the leaves and the core so that I can get at all these florets and start hacking away at them. So I first start by just kind of like lopping off all of these florets that stick out. But these are pretty giant. Meera calls for bite size. So what I like to do is just like kind of break into the stem a little bit and then pull them apart because if you just slice straight through, it's going to like lop off a bunch of the little tiny florets and give you a lot of extra loose bits that you won't get to use. So what I usually do is just start to break into it and then pull it apart. So you get less stuff breaking off because these florets get to just kind of stay intact and break where they want to break. So that gets tossed with a bunch of oil and salt. Well, I like using my hands for this step of any roasting recipe because you can really feel that the oil has lacquered up everything in there. You don't have any dry bits. I don't really want to go much more crowded than that because otherwise these guys will steam and the like dry hot air of the oven won't be able to get in and crisp everything and let the cauliflower reduce and concentrate and get really sweet and caramelized. These are going to go in for 30 to 40 minutes at 350. Just keep an eye on them and give them a stir if they seem like they're starting to get too brown. Okay, we have to get some onions cooking because they're gonna take a little bit of time to brown. Whoa, so many. I just don't want this many. Pretend like that's how many onions we're working on. These are medium heat and they're just gonna get a little like golden in parts, but they don't need to be that full melting super brown caramelized experience. There's enough other good stuff going on here. Do you want me to tell you all the ingredients now? Okay, grated ginger, grated garlic, honey, a whole kitty of spices, so black pepper, garam masala, ground chile, we're using cayenne, ground cardamom, and a bunch of yogurt and ground almonds. It's not just a vegetable side dish, it really is substantial enough to be your main, and I am not a nutritionist and I don't really think about nutrition all that often, but if you're looking for protein, this has a whole bunch of yogurt and a whole bunch of ground almonds that help bring the protein that you would need to be looking for in a main dish. Look at me talking about protein. Yes. So these are just grated ginger and grated garlic on a microplane. If you want to do a lot of Indian cooking, I learned a great trick from Urvashi Petri, which is you can make a paste of ginger and garlic with just a little bit of water and a food processor. You can make a whole bunch and stick it in the freezer so that whenever a recipe calls for ginger and garlic together, you have them together. I will include that tip in the recipe so that if you want to make this all the time, it will be ready to go in your freezer. If I ever was able to give you genius recipes that take all day, that time is over. Because I've got a very busy baby, and if I want to test these recipes, I'm doing it usually like after she's gone to bed or on the weekends, and there's no chance that I'm gonna be doing something that takes 4 hours of attention. So I'm always looking for something that's quick because I know a lot of you guys are in the same boat that I am. If you have good, quick recipes, I really want them. quick recipes or things that just like work into your schedule well. Something you can start the night before or in the morning before you go to work. Things you can throw in the oven for a while you go and do other things that you need to do. All of those things are so helpful, and I would really, really love the things that you turn to over and over. Onions are soft and golden. The rest of this is gonna move pretty fast. This is that grated garlic and ginger going in. Just for a couple minutes to kind of cook in with the onions and mellow out. Ginger and garlic is cooked in. Now pretty much everything else goes in with it. This is all the spices, the ground almonds, a little honey, and some salt. This is what it looks like when I'm cooking at home. There's stuff flying everywhere. Oil spattering across the stove. Just another day in the midnight kitchen. Okay, so this is quick. It's going to toast the spices, bring out all their flavor, toast the nuts, bring out all their flavor. It smells amazing. Now, yogurt. 2 cups of yogurt. When you add the yogurt, you'll immediately turn the heat down to low, and it'll kind of just gently simmer along for 10 minutes and turn a little bit more of a golden brown. That's partly so that the sauce doesn't break on you. Cooking with yogurt is much less scary than it sounds if you keep it on low heat. If you turn it up to high heat and boil it, there's a good chance that the yogurt might start to kind of separate and get grainy and weird on you. But this should stay creamy and comforting. You can see after 10 minutes, the sauce does get a little bit more golden, and it's time to dump in the cauliflower. All right. Now this part is sort of a gentle folding moment. It's not gonna look like it's all gonna coat it, but just have faith, go at it gently, and then once this is all tossed around, we'll add some milk, and you can use that to just choose your ideal consistency for the korma. And Meera gives a variable amount of milk so that you can decide exactly how saucy you want it. Korma is done. It is this pan full of amazing comfort food. The garnish is gonna make it even more exciting though. This is the part that first caught my eye. Blackened raisins. Raisins by themselves are perfectly fine. They do the job. They're hard workers, but they're not that sexy, for lack of a better word. They are kind of like, they're sweet, they're kind of clammy, they stick together, but when you blacken them, they turn into a totally different animal. Their skins puff up and get kind of crackly. They get a little bit of smoky flavor from the charring. The insides get molten and almost fudgy and a little bit sweet. And then you also have, at the same time, these toasted almonds, which add some crunch and nuttiness too. The garnish is done. Everyone that we've served this to at Food 52 has been so into it, and we also heard from Meera Sodha's assistant, Hannah, that she's been testing recipes for Meera for years, and this one is one of her kids' favorites, and they go absolutely bananas for it. That is so good. It's a little sweet, it's creamy, it's a little spicy. It's got like all these waves of ginger and garlic and golden onion-ness hitting me. It's so good. And this garnish makes it so that you could just eat it like bite after bite and never ever get bored. If you want more genius recipes like this every single week, vegetarian mains and otherwise, be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel and pick up a copy of Meera Sodha's Fresh India for lots of inspiration. I'll see you next week.